doesn't fit all when it comes to politics. The Republican Zone airs Wednesday from 1 to 2 p.m. and Saturday from 3 to 4 p.m.
Okay, we're coming to you in five, four, three, two, one.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for listening, and we want to thank Drew Murray for actually giving us the opportunity to come on board and on his behalf and cover his show. It's a big pleasure of mine. I have a friend of mine here, personal friend of mine also, Aaron, and I'm going to have Aaron introduce himself in a minute. But we wanted to take this moment and this opportunity to say it's a pleasure of ours to cover Drew and to remind everybody that the only reason he's not here is because Drew is actually getting signatures because he's running on his campaign. And all his audience, all people that believe in him and know him, I would like to ask them to be looking for him, to help him get his signatures, and to support him. He's a good man, and we all appreciate what Drew is doing. Now, again, my name is David Torres. I'm going to choose my friend here, good Christian brother, family values, respectful individual. You can't get any better than Aaron. Aaron,
First of all, thank you so much, David, for having me on your show. And yes, we are really missing Drew, but he's doing a wonderful job out there, getting his signatures for the petitions that he needs in order to go to ballot. So again, thank you so much, and I really appreciate coming out here. And I always enjoy to be here in USALA Media, reaching my audience, reaching my those specific people who really line up with us, their values, and especially people who are open-minded. Because I believe that as a logical person, as a person who can look at the data, who can look at the facts, you got to be open-minded. You got to see what is right, what is wrong.
that's true.
So, a lot of people they just buy into the fake news, like the media. They just wanted to build up their perception, what's like being out there. But you got to think for yourself. I'm just I was just coming out of like my class. I teach algebra, mathematics, and it is like hey, you got to do your critical thinking. You got to think for yourself. Other people are not gonna think for yourself.
like I call fake media zombie media.
Yes,
Everybody
yes.
who follows, they just zombies. They just do whatever direction that fake media sends them to do. But we're here to do something different. We're here to show what the Republican Party has, what options they have, and the things that we offer, which is a solid group of individuals that care about what happens to you. I mean, let's get to the point here. Aaron, explain to people what you're running for.
Well, as I said last time, my name is Aaron Bashir. I'm running for the office of state representative in District 172, which is pretty much northeast Philadelphia. So, what I stand for is the family values. What I stand for is the public safety of the neighborhoods. I want the safer, the stronger, and better neighborhoods. If you would have visited Northeast Philadelphia 30 years ago, 20 years ago, it looked a lot different. The neighborhoods were better, stronger, safer. But now people are scared. You know, people are scared to walk outside in the nighttime. The reason for that is because the people, the status quo, people who are running this city, they've been not doing good job. A lot of shootings, a lot of high crime rate. It's like destroying the neighborhoods, and that's why people like me who've been never into politics, who are not politicians actually. I teach at Community College of Philadelphia. I'm a professor there. I also run a little small business, but guess what? I'm saying, hey, enough is enough. People like me, people like you, David, who really care for people. Who really want our people to do good, who want the working family to do better. They're saying, hey, enough of that politics that have been played for last 6 decades. You've been claiming to help and secure the working family's rights, but in reality, you are hurting them most. Look at Philadelphia. We have so much high crime rates, high poverty rate, abandoned neighborhoods, you know, drugs,
And
prostitution, and
and
it's like
and
a lot of crap.
remember that this city has actually been run for more than 50 years
Yes,
by the Democratic Party.
exactly.
So we have to start asking people to think about individuals. Don't think about if he or she is a particular party, but of what that person has to
Stands for.
bring to the table, what that person stands for. And
Exactly.
I think that time has come for us to look at that,
Yes.
and to examine that and to open people's minds up and say, look, you're not going anywhere for the last 50 something years.
Right.
Why not give somebody else another chance?
Yeah.
We need to look at that. But another thing to think about is look at Aaron.
Yeah.
Okay, you're the epitome of the American dream. How long you been in the country?
Thank you, David. I've been here for like almost last 19 years.
19
You know,
years. Tell them where you come
uh,
from.
I come from Pakistan. I migrated in 2001, and I have a little life story. Actually, I was a patient of aplastic anemia, and I was about to die because I needed bone marrow transplant, and bone marrow transplant facilities were not available in Pakistan at that time. So I needed the blood transfusions every other 3 weeks or a month. But guess what? We did not have money for my treatment, and being in third world country, there wasn't any facility who could treat me. But Lord Jesus Christ did a miracle in my life.
Amen.
I was
Amen.
about to die, but my family, my friends, my church, they kept praying, and one day miracle happened. As I was getting a blood transfusion in one of the hospitals, and here, like, I get a severe blood reaction, and then I started to see like this little darkness, and but I'm praying in my heart, in my like those last minutes, Lord, I'm still not satisfied with my life. Give me life, so I could serve you. I could do great things in life,
All right.
and that's why I'm running for this office. Hey, I wanted to do great things for people. People who are hurting there, people who need help, people who are there and no one is reaching them, and especially the government should be stepping up, doing the great things for people, and that has been not done for the people of Philadelphia for last 5 decades, for last 6 decades actually. You
Yeah.
know,
And now I want everybody to think about this for a minute. He came here 19 years ago. He miraculously was able to be cured. Had a miracle that happened to him, and now he's teaching, and he's teaching people without putting politics into their heads. Where he's teaching people to learn how to make a choice. When you're going to some of these colleges, if you want to be a Republican, if you want to be independent of what they're doing, you're outsized. And
yes, that's right. One thing I will give credit to Democrats. What credit I wanted to give them, they're good at selling their stuff. And what I mean by that is selling their biased ideas, the wrong perceptions to public, because they know what they are doing. They know that people buy into it. I think we were talking last night. Hey, the fear factor, right?
yeah,
And you mentioned it very well. They capitalize on a lot of factors. Fear factors. Oh, Republicans are bad. They're gonna to deport you from this country. Oh, Republicans are bad. They don't like you. They are racist. No, we are not. I am from a minority group, and what brings me to Republican Party? The values, the ideas. I have seen the worst things in Pakistan, the practices of socialism, the practices of like all that liberal ideology, and I'm gonna to go towards the radical side of like the religion. It's crazy the ideas that they're being like tossing up. They want the public policies to be built up upon those ridiculous ideas which are really really dangerous for the society. For example, they don't believe in the sanctity of marriage. They don't believe in the family values. They don't believe in the sanctity of life anymore. I keep killing the babies. I keep destroying the basic institution of the marriage. And it's crazy because once you start shaking those basic institutions of the society, it creates a big chaos. People are confused about their gender. You know, and they promote that, they export that, and this is very crazy idea. It's like you got to know who you are, what you stand for. And if you I understand we got freedoms, and I'm not against anybody's freedoms, but there are basic institutions of the society. And once you start interrupting them, you destroy the whole city, you destroy the whole state, you destroy the whole country, and that's what these people don't understand.
well, there's a lot of changes, and I think that I thank God for President Trump.
Yeah,
He's come in. He's not politics. He's not status quo when it comes to the way Washington was run. He went in to do a job, and lo and behold, look what's happening.
look,
And they've been attacking him for since day one. I mean,
that's true.
when before he was
Yeah,
even gone sworn in, they were already talking about impeaching him.
yeah, yeah.
I mean,
See,
come on.
the elite, the politicians who do this for a living, they were
Yeah,
not happy because this guy was an outsider. All of a sudden, because just like me, just like hey, we cannot take that, you know, that stuff anymore because we are patriots. We love America. I love this country
yeah.
because I have adopted this country as my homeland. And I got to be sincere. I got to make sure that it's not going in the right in the wrong direction, and that's why I'm running. So getting back to the President Trump, when he ran, the things what Obama did in like 8 years, I keep telling my friends, I keep telling he screwed up the country. You know, don't trust what the media is telling me. He did blah blah blah. But look at a couple of things. I'm gonna to just mention the important things that how it affected us and how it affected innocent people in Middle East. His wrong foreign policy, you know, the bloodshed that we had in the Middle East, it was all because of his wrong foreign policy, his foreign policies, wrong administrations, wrong initiatives that they gave it to Iran, couple of hundred millions. And, when they were bombing our base this time, President Trump was right, when they know, hey, they are using our dollars to bomb our boys.
Right.
And that is true. And I come from Pakistan. I have seen how the radical you know, mentality and ideology of terrorism, Islamic radicalization, the Taliban mentality. I was born in that city. I was raised in that city, city Quetta, you know, and I've seen the worst there. So when you are not tough on terrorism, when you are siding with them, when you are like, when you're supporting them by giving them money, by giving them the resources, you are actually going against America. You are going against the interests of American citizens. And when President Trump took over the office, just look in 3 years, he has defeated ISIS. You know, he has limitized them into certain small sections. And getting back to our local issues, economy. Look at the economy; it's doing great.
Hmm.
People have jobs. Unemployment rate is at the record level down. So what else can you ask for? The strong economy, people are happier, people have jobs. So because he is a genuine guy, he was never a politician. He came, he did what was really needed for our country. And I believe, David Torres, you're running for Congress in second district, and I'm running for in Northeast Philadelphia for District Pennsylvania 172. We need good people, who are not regular politicians, but who are the leaders of community, who
Okay,
really
I
care.
think we're going to take a break and get back to everyone.
Great, I enjoy it.
Sometimes the things we do or say can make others feel hurt, excluded, or isolated. Everything you say and do creates an impact.
How am I supposed to save the whole world?
You can't think about saving the world. You have to think about saving one person.
Because of you, someone's entire life can change. You don't have to be a superhero to have a positive impact.
Friends?
Friends. Not completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma. I have a mentor, and she convinced me to continue my education. No one receives a diploma alone. If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, go get it. You can do it.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
15 more seconds. Okay, we are coming back in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go ahead.
Okay, welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. Welcome back. We're glad to be here. Aaron and I are discussing some of Trump's policies, some of local policies, and I want to go back to some of the local policies. I know that you're running for state rep. Andrew is running for state rep. I myself am running for Congress. Um, and there's a lot of changes going on in the politics itself, even in voting. People need to be aware that you no longer go in. You literally have to go in and push each button for the candidate that you want to be representing you.
Yes, I think it's very good, David, because people should be voting based on the ideas what candidates stand for. When it is the straight policy button, then people not even thinking. I'm a big fan of like, hey, think, do the critical thinking. When you do the critical thinking, then you reach to the right conclusion. So in the past, it has been a pattern like, you push one button and, just vote for the straight party, which is okay to a certain extent. However, sometimes you really have to make the choices between the candidates, especially for instance, like when you and me running in Northeast Philadelphia, and people need to understand that, even though we belong to Republican Party, and there might be a lot of folks who are not Republicans, but they need to understand that when we be running for this office, we'll be really helping our neighborhoods. We'll be
Yeah.
standing up for the public security. We'll be standing for the safer and stronger.
And in your position that you're running as a state rep, you effectively have a lot to do when it comes to local policies.
Definitely.
And like for example, North Philadelphia. I
Yeah.
mean, we seriously have an opiate crisis. We got a heroin crisis. We got a crack crisis. Um, God knows, God knows that we need serious people. Uh, Putting up safe houses to shoot up, that's not an answer.
Right.
I don't care what anybody says.
Yeah.
Mr. Mayor, you're hearing me on the radio station now. I'm telling you, that's a joke what you allowed to happen.
Yes.
City Council, it's a joke what you did. How are you going to tell me? I want you to tell the public that if you're telling an individual who's on drugs, go and buy it, come back, and you can have access to clean syringes, have access to shooting the drugs up, and if something happens to you, we're going to be here to take you to the hospital and give you the stuff you need so you don't overdose. So if you're telling them it's okay to do that, then you're telling the public that you are not going to stop the drug issues that are going on in the city, that you're not going to help to stop the crime rate, that you're not going to try to help with these young women who are out there selling themselves because they got hooked on these drugs. You know what you're doing is a crime. You should be the one that we should be going after. And that's what the American people and the people of Philadelphia need to look at. When
That's
you're
very true.
doing this on at our level, at the street level, with these joke policies that you're putting through.
That's very true, David. It's crazy that you are technically endorsing and
The
you are
use.
you are supporting the use of drugs.
And drug dealing.
Exactly.
Because if they're telling them to go buy these drugs and
Yes.
come back, then how are they going to buy it if you are going to stop the drug use? So you know that you're not going to stop the drug dealing.
That's
All
true.
you're doing is making believe and stopping crime here and there. Because you're tying the hands of the police department. You're
That's
tying
right.
the hands of the men and women in blue who are sacrificing their lives.
Yes, very true. And we have lost so many young folks, older folks, middle-aged folks because of the drugs. And I know you went through a personal tragic situation. And I know a couple of families in my like in a Northeast Philadelphia community who have lost their loved ones because of the drugs. And providing that safe site injections, oh my goodness, this is irrational. This is not logical at all. And I don't understand why they bring in those policies to to destroy our children, to destroy our younger folks. And as I said in the in my previous argument, Democrats are good at one thing, selling the biased perceptions, the wrong perceptions, the wrong things. I'm going to go back to my one small story. That's how devil, the Satan appealed to women. Look at the fruit. It is good. When he convinced, eat this fruit. I mean, of course, when she looked at it, it looked like, appealing to her. And it's written like, she looks at the fruit and she likes it because it's pleasing to the eyes. the way they present their ridiculous, irrational, like unlogical, illogical perceptions and ideas to the public, they appeal them. They appeal to their needs, their desires, their fears. I'm a marketing guy. Marketing was my major. There are three things they capitalize on always. You know, the fears of people, the desires and the needs of people.
Sure.
All right, and that's how they've been screwed. They have been screwing up our city for the last 60 years.
Oh yeah.
You know,
Oh, yeah.
Philadelphia, so many drugs, all right, prostitution. Look at the high crime rates. Look at
But
the
the
higher
pain,
poverty rate.
the one thing is the pain and suffering
Suffering.
that the people in the streets are going through.
Yes.
The pain and suffering, and you got to think about this. If it's a family member
Yes.
who's the provider for his or her family,
Yes.
and he or she gets hooked on these drugs for whatever the reason, medication, pain medication for an accident, hurt on the job, etc. And then you don't have a system that weeds them down, and all of a sudden you just snatch it from underneath them. Well, they're going out there to try. You hook them on
Yeah.
on these drugs, and they're going out there to try to recoup whatever they need.
That's true. I've driven to those neighborhoods so
So there's
many
family
times.
members that get
Right.
hurt too. It's not just what happens to that individual, but the repercussions of the people around them. There's excellent programs out there.
Yes.
Excellent programs out there,
For
and
rehab.
we really need to look at federally and
Right.
locally where the monies are going for these programs, and are they being effective? Because there's a lot of programs out there that just ain't being effective, but they're
Yes.
reaping the money.
That's very true. A lot of these guys who push for these ridiculous, ideas. Look, who's gonna to make money by running all these safe site, like injection houses?
The
You
drug
know.
dealers are going to make money because they know they're not going to be arrested.
That is true. And also these guys who are proposing these laws, they have the stakes somewhere down the road.
Yeah.
And if they think they are so good, just look at their own families. Are their own kids doing the drugs? Will they ever take the drugs to their own kids in their home? No way. They're just pushing and dumping that stuff on us, the residents of Philadelphia, because they know, they're smart. They think, people are dumb there. They can sell. They can, dumb on them whatever they want to.
Well, I think one of the policies that the city or the people should have on the next election to vote for is that the next time they decide to open a safe site, that it has to be within the same facility or block where one of their politicians live.
That's right.
Okay, if the mayor, if you don't like, well, the mayor can use his private bathroom to make it a safe site.
That's right. That's right. That's right. That's right. When you, as a friend, as a father, when you lose your son, when as a brother you lose your brother, it hurts. It hurts most, and that's why we are telling you, Philadelphia residents and Pennsylvania residents, these people who are pushing for these ideas, they really don't care for you. They are destroying our families. They are destroying our neighborhoods. They are destroying our school district. And that's why people like us who were never politicians before, but people who like us who really care for our neighborhoods and who have the genuine and passionate hearts, we are running for these offices because we wanted to see the things different this time. And last time I had a meeting with a union, and this is what happened. They said, no, hey, you are a Republican. Why should we be endorsing you? I said, look, for the last 6 decades, we've been endorsing these Democratic candidates who claim to represent you as, but look, what are the results? Look at the poverty rate, look at the neighborhoods. They are hurting the working families most. Try this time something different. Give us a chance this time, in Philadelphia. And, look at that. So we are going to turn around this city. We are going to make the city one of the good ones, one of the best ones, if you just give us a chance. One time.
Well, and I'm back to saying, don't look at where this person is, whether he's a Republican or she's a Republican or
Right.
he's a Democrat, she's there. Look at the individual.
Right. Agree.
You need to choose the individual, not the party.
That's
Because
very true.
nothing's perfect. I can tell you, even in the Republican Party, nothing's perfect.
That's true.
But I can tell you one thing. I, for one, if I'm in office and somebody in the Republican Party did something wrong, I'm going to be the first one to tell you, buddy, you got to go.
That's right. That's right.
because you need to put it out there. You're supposed to be a servant of the public,
That's right.
not a servant for yourself. How many of these political people have been in office locally and above for 10, 15, 20 years? And what have you gotten? Nothing.
Right.
You know, look at Washington now.
Yes.
What have we gotten for the last 3 years? You got a president who's busting his chops, because I'm going to be nice and not use the words I want to use,
Yeah.
busting his chops to get things done,
That's right.
has accomplished
In 3 years.
Canada, Mexican,
Yeah.
United States trade.
That's right.
Did you hear about that? No.
Yeah.
Women are more business owners now. Did you hear about that? No.
Yeah.
We're making deals with in Israel. We're making deals overseas. There's so much that this man is doing.
Just in 3 years.
Zero credit.
That's true. Very
Zero
true.
credit. But look and see when they tell you, we want open borders. Show me one of your people that want open borders that don't have a secure place to live.
That's wonderful. Perfect
Nancy
example.
Pelosi lives in a gated facility.
Ah, wonderful. That's
you want
true.
open borders? Let's have open borders, but the tents have to be put in front of your house.
There you go. And they will never allow that because they know it's dangerous. But they will allow for all of us because they
Right.
think, they really don't care, They don't want a stronger America.
And don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Do not get me wrong. I know that people are suffering. We
That's
bring over 1 million immigrants a year into this country.
Right.
Okay? You're a perfect example of coming in here and now chasing a dream. And look where you're
See,
at.
it took my uncle like 16 years to get here. Took my mom 8 years. Me, I waited for like 2 years.
So it's nothing against
Yeah.
immigrants coming in here. And I
Yes.
know people are suffering. There's people around the world that want to
See,
come
what-
here. We
what
got the best
concerns-
country on the planet.
That's true. What concerns me, David, is the problem is when ISIS threatens us all the time, right? That they're gonna to send their people to kill Americans, to destroy America. All right, we'll be very stupid if we open up our borders. All right, we got to make sure that American citizens are safe here. No one just comes up and starts shooting people on the streets and the malls. No one comes out and takes the knives and starts stabbing people. Look at Europe. This is what has happened there. People who are like connected to ISIS, they just start randomly shooting people. They take their cars, run over the crowds. All right, and those people are so brainwashed, it's hard to change them. The only one treatment they always get is just the bullet on the head, and then they go down. Otherwise, they are not going down. And the reason for that, they wanted to die because they are promised 72 virgins in heaven. Because they wanted to die because
Hold
they think.
that thought. We're going to be going to another commercial. Hold that thought because we got to let our commercials come in too.
Not completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma. I have a mentor, and she convinced me to continue my education. No one receives a diploma alone. If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, go get it. You can do it.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
Sometimes the things we do or say can make others feel hurt, excluded, or isolated. Everything you say and do creates an impact.
How am I supposed to save the whole world?
You can't think about saving the world. You have to think about saving one person.
Because of you, someone's entire life can change. You don't have to be a superhero to have a positive impact.
Friends?
Friends.
Okay, we are coming back to you guys in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go ahead.
Hello again. Now we're back here. We had cut off for a commercial break because we got to respect the people that have to supply us with these commercial breaks, right?
Yes.
Aaron, you were talking.
Yeah, I was talking about ISIS, how they wanted to destroy America. They have threatened us in the past. They said they will infiltrate America. They will send their guys. And like 2 weeks ago, I think I read in the news that, they did get a few guys who are trying to squeeze in through the borders, and they are connected with ISIS. So this is what I'm saying. You can't have open up a border because it's gonna to compromise our security and the safety of our children, our families. Before the without any background checks, without any prior knowledge about persons complete background checks, it will be, I think, very very stupid to let people come in this country. And then the thing is, if you go back logically, right, if you look at the whole issue, people, why they wanted to come to America, other refugees, I'm not talking about those motivated, manipulated, terrorist mind mentality people, who wanted to come and wanted to die, kill other people so they could go to heaven and get 72 virgins. I'm talking about the general people, you know, who are looking for work, who want like opportunities, who want better lives. Okay, the thing is this: uh, I don't have a problem with them at all, and America is the country of immigrants. But once you open up the border, once you don't have a system, it will create the same chaos what people are running away from. I'm from Pakistan originally. Like the poverty, like the public health system, the public government like schooling system, the dominance of Islamic religion in Pakistan. It's crazy. People are not happy. People are not safe. you know it will create the same chaos when you open up the border. You cannot have those people becoming the part of melting pot yet, and you keep bringing more and more people. It will create big chaos in the United States if we just allow the open up immigration for everybody. It's not going to work. What people are running away from, they will find them in the same situation again if we allow those things. So that is a problem with the open up border immigration policies.
Well, and we have our own issues in this country that we got to think about too.
Yes.
We there's an economic issue. I mean, we should have been already dealing with this stuff in Washington when it came to prescriptions. Our seniors need help. There are people on retirement that need help.
Yes.
There's people now that low income. We can keep moving them higher and higher and higher, so that they can do better.
Yeah.
Housing issues that we need to look at. It's time for answers. It's time for people to stand up. And I'm glad that I'm running. I'm glad that you're running. I'm
Right.
glad that Drew's running, because it's time to have people say, you know what? No, you're not gonna. It's not gonna be status quo, buddy. Where's the money? What are you doing? And you need to prove
Yes.
that this is being effective.
And I don't understand, where this money's going. This they keep raising the taxes every year. Okay, our property taxes keep going up, our personal taxes, or the business taxes keep going up. They had that soda tax last time, which affected a couple of businesses. People lost jobs on that. A couple of companies got closed because it's not just soda. It affects a lot of other things. I was speaking to one of the managers of Acme a couple of months ago. He said, hey, people thought it's just like a simple soda tax, but it actually affected like 18 of our more products that were directly, excuse me, and indirectly were connected to the soda taxes. So he said they had to shut down one of their stores. People lost jobs. But getting back to the point, you know, um, we need safer, stronger neighborhoods. That's my most important thing, where people are not scared that somebody's going to shoot them. The drug dealers are doing the shootings and stuff like that. And next, the other thing, I'm a strong advocate of lower taxes, because I believe that the government could be run in an efficient way. You don't have to charge that much money, especially with the new technology, with everything changing so fast. There are much better and cheaper ways to provide the same services.
Well, and touching on that, and we won't have enough time. We're gonna probably have to wind up with a bigger segment to be able to do this. But for example, when they say, I'll tell you one thing: our health centers here do a tremendous job with the little bit of money they get. Because our health centers here, like Third and Girard, 20th and I think it's 20th and Girard. Those two particular health centers that I personally know, I've sent people to get help. They give them tremendous services. They support them and help them in many ways. These are programs that we need to look at.
Right.
But when you have people running for example, the White House, who says free health insurance for everybody, and the
Yeah,
cost is going to be $70 billion. Well, where's 70 trillion, $70 billion? Where's the money coming from?
that's very true. See, last time that's what I said. Hey, there are no free lunches in real life. You got to be realistic. You can dream it, you can wish it, but when realistically you have to achieve something, you have to work hard for it. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And right now, when I look at the deficit of the government, and I'm so happy, God bless President Trump, he has reduced our spending so much, like on which was really, really unnecessary spending. We are giving the money to a lot of these countries who really hate us. They create more terrorists. They actually funnel those terrorists. They go after our service members. So getting back to the point, you got to cut down all those ridiculous spending projects which are costing us. Because if you don't believe me, just go to Google, look at the debt of the United States government, and if you look at that little clock, it's going to drive you crazy because the interest, the balance keeps increasing. We got to make sure, we cut down on unnecessary spending.
I wonder how many people in this country really know that we're about to hit $1 trillion debt.
Right. And
How do they know? I mean, do they realize that where we're going to in our debt at this point? I said $1 trillion.
see, I'm a
which is all-
mathematician, David. I love to work with numbers.
What's the? They estimated that next year will be 26.
I'm not exactly sure the number, I haven't had a chance to look at it, but this is what I can tell you. It's much better now than what it used to be in Obama's era.
Right.
Our deficit is getting down, it's getting better because, there are only two ways. As a mathematician, you can manage your budget only by two ways. Either you increase your revenue or you cut down your expenses. You know what I mean? So you don't want to increase your revenue by taxing more people and you increase the taxes and stuff like that. So you got to make sure cut down on your expenses. But what I mean by that is I'm not saying we got to cut down any expenses or expenditures for senior citizens, for education, for healthcare. No. What I'm talking about is the ridiculous other projects. For instance, the money that we have been giving to United Nations, and that's very same United Nations, goes against American interests. Those third world countries that create terrorists, and that hurt people. So I'm saying we got to cut on the all that foreign aid, and also we need to invest all that money here locally, so we could have stronger neighborhoods, where we have good health care, where we have good school district for our kids. So getting back to the point, I believe now we are in the right direction. Just in 3 years, now our country is back on the track, and we wanted to keep it that way. And people like you and me, who are genuine candidates, who really care for people, who really care for our families, for our friends, for our neighborhoods, say, hey, we're not gonna to tell you, we're not gonna to allow that, that you're gonna to, you want our kids to go on drugs, by providing them safe sites where they could inject themselves. No, we're not gonna to allow that. Okay, we're not gonna to allow that you keep increasing the taxes. We're not gonna to allow you that you keep destroying our neighborhoods, keep destroying our school district. Enough is enough. We are standing up, and we are gonna to turn around the things.
Yeah, well, I agree, and I think that the public are everyone needs to get involved at this point. Forget the differences, and you got to put your differences aside and start really, really, really looking at the individuals that are here. What do we got to do? I know, I do not want any of my kids, grandchildren, and if I ever get to see great grandchildren, I know I don't want them to be walking to school and have to walk over a corner where there's nothing but syringes.
Yes.
I don't
very
want
true.
that.
Right.
I don't want them to grow up looking at somebody nodding out on a porch or on a street, on a stoop, on a corner.
Right.
Because you're going to school every day, you're coming home every day, and you're going to school every day, and you're coming home, and you're seeing this, and you're going outside to play ball, and you're seeing this. But that child is going to grow up thinking that's normal.
Right. Very true.
That's
very true.
normal.
And this is what they have been doing. They are promoting, they are supporting all that evil practices which is really, really destroying our society. And it's enough is enough. The
But
next
it's
one,
not happening. It's only happening certain parts.
certain
Well,
parts,
on
yes.
the lower end, on the lower income people, on the minorities in the group, on
Yes.
people who are down of whatever, psychologically, physically, who have gone through a lot. These are the people that they're using, and these are the people that are got to be
See,
accepting
they
their
are the easy
neighborhoods
target.
destroyed.
They are the easy targets for, like, these democratic leadership,
Yeah.
because by creating those ridiculous projects, they are getting more and more funding. The money is going in their pockets eventually.
Yeah. Well, there's no way. They're lucky they didn't try to put it in my neighborhood.
Right.
Because there's no way you're going to put a safe house on my street.
Right.
It ain't happening.
Yeah.
Our kids are going to go to school in my neighborhood, and they're going to
Yes.
go to school walking in a safe neighborhood.
Exactly. That's what
That
we need
that's
to
just
do.
it's ridiculous that you allowed the
Right.
city officials to do that to you.
And then the senior citizens, they need to be preserved. They need to be secured. When you keep allowing all this stuff, it's gonna to be really putting them as well in jeopardy.
Yeah.
It brings the drug dealers on the blocks, on the streets, the
Exactly.
shootings, the crimes, and it creates a big, big chaos. So now the next point I wanted to touch, David, is on education, because I believe in Philadelphia and Pennsylvania. I'm an educator. I teach at community college, and I believe education is so important. It gives you awareness, it opens up your mind, and a lot of times, there is not enough available out there, and one of the reasons is, the education is not free. It's expensive, and the money that the democratic leadership, the council, the mayor has been wasting on other projects, they could use that money to educate people, especially the minority groups, African American communities, Spanish community, Latino community, you know, the Indian community, Pakistani community, Palestinian, the minority communities, who are the part of Philadelphia now. So, but guess what? They are not spending all that money to educate people, to help out people for a better life. They are not creating more entrepreneurs.
I think that we can hold that thought and get back because education is very important. Well, the commercial.
Seconds, guys.
Don't wait. Communicate. Make your emergency plan today.
Sí, tenía miedo. No sabía si iba a poder hacerlo.
Encuentra clases gratis para adultos cerca de ti en completatudiploma.org.
Guys, in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go ahead.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm here, David Torres, with my friend and colleague here. You were talking.
Yes, about the education. See, as I said, I'm an educator. I love community college because I used to be a student here, like a long time ago. So now I teach there. I have seen like it's been providing a wonderful service, and I'm not like advocating on behalf of community college, but I'm saying it's making difference in
I
the
love
community.
community college.
It's affordable, so that's where we can one of the areas where the funding should be going to, helping the community so people get educated. They have short courses, medium courses, so they get the skills and knowledge that's needed outside in the professional field. So, however, instead of spending the money on the community college, you know, in the school district, which is like really screwed up right now. I'm very pro-choice, like on the school system side, like the parents should have the choice, where they wanted to send their kids. Now, I think one of the important reasons why like Philadelphians has been like screwed up because people really are not sometimes as educated as they should be about their politics, about their civic responsibilities, and about the characteristics of their politicians, especially in Philadelphia. They really buy into what the politicians have been saying. Hey, we are Democrats, we are on your side. We are for their working families. No, you are not. you know you've been destroying the working families by not providing them education, by not providing them better opportunities for business, for entrepreneurship, okay, and by not providing them opportunities to keep them safer and stronger, and also by raising their taxes you are hurting the working families. So that's my take on that.
Well, I think that education to me is vital. We can't afford to be 33rd or 35th on an educational level in this country.
That's true.
It's totally unacceptable.
It is unacceptable.
I think that we need to make sure that our kids in all levels, college especially, but in all levels as they're growing, that they have all the resources you need to make sure that the kids are getting the best education they can. The other thing is that we need to get locally, have family members and organizations involved in what's happening in our community. I think we need to look at even churches at this
Yes.
point. Churches need to stop closing their doors. When Christ was out there, he went out to the public.
That's
He
true.
didn't stay behind closed
Yes,
doors. It
yes.
said, "Go get my sheep." He didn't
Thank
say,
you.
"Lock the door, leave the sheep outside."
That's very true. Thank you so much for bringing the issue of churches here. I really wanted to stress on this point. I strongly wanted to really, talk about it. See, there are a lot of churches, there are a lot of pastors, there are a lot of folks who, hey, we don't have to do anything with politics. We just wanted to stay within our church. We don't have to do anything with the politics. Hey, you're wrong. You know, it doesn't matter if you wanted to do anything with politics, yes or no, but the politics has to do something with you.
Yeah.
When you do not elect the right people who are gonna to share your values, when you do not elect as Christians, the right people for the right job, you are gonna to get hurt. Look what Obama did. You know, look at in 8 years, he always marked the Christianity. Every single video you look at, YouTube is full of that. You can see like he was always marking the Christian faith, and he was also like joking about it, but he was also glorifying Islam. He was also like glorifying the other faith, like but he was always destroying the Christianity.
Well, Christianity is under extreme attack
Yes,
now,
yes,
but it's part of our homegrown values.
right,
The Catholic institution has been under attack.
right,
Nothing is perfect.
right.
Nothing is perfect. We need to be able to look, but we have to come together as a community, and that's the biggest problem we got.
Right.
We have separated. We said the Northeast is one thing, the Riverfront something else, South Philly is here, Kansas. No, you know
We are
what?
one city
Everybody's
and
feeling
one
the
state,
pain.
and we have to stand together. You're right. And I'm just going to reiterate my point because I believe that's a very
Yeah,
important
'cause
point.
we also are gotta start wrapping up
Yes, yes.
because I would love to continue this, but we have limitations
Right.
on time.
Yeah, I understand. Just briefly, as Christians, please don't, stay away from politics because it's for your future generations. When you want to see Christianity being like, uh, when you want as Christians to see your faith being promoted, being supported, and not like, restrained in this country, you have to come out and vote. And you have to vote for those values who are conservatives, who are pro life, who believe in the sanctity of marriage, who believe in the sanctity of, like, life. So that's what you got to do.
I think that one of the messages that I want to get across to people is when you go to the polls and they come up to you and say, we want you to do this. Is that your choice? Is that your choice? When leaders come up to you and they say they want you to vote for the man from Mars,
Yeah.
is that your choice?
Well, you really got to think for yourself. That's what and that's what you are encouraging everybody to do. Do your research on the candidate, what he or she stands for, and do not just go with your party. Look at the candidate individually, what he's going to bring on the table, what she's going to bring on the table. And I think this is the real practice, and that's why, I'm very happy that now they have that push buttons where you have to like exactly choose the candidate. And again,
Well, hopefully they don't keep pushing all the way straight down the line.
yes, I hope not.
I think that we got less than a minute to go. I want to thank you for coming and joining me and sharing this hour. I want to thank Drew for allowing me and giving me the honor to have you here and to cover his show.
Yes.
I mean, whoo, we got a break. I mean, the man himself gave us a chance.
Again, in 30 seconds, I want to say, David, hey guys, if you want your neighborhoods to be stronger, safer, better, cleaner, and if you want the lower taxes, if you want higher and good education for the community, please elect David Torres, elect Aaron Bashir, elect Drew Murray, all of us, so we could, make difference in the community.
Make a difference. God bless. Take care. And to our radio listeners, we'll be praying for you.
Thank you.
Take care.
God bless.